In this video segment, we will summarize the basic healthcare access rights of persons who have a behavioral health disability. While state and federal laws have specific requirements to ensure access to affordable healthcare, there are too many to cover in today's video. Therefore, we are only going to provide information on essential medical services that should be accessible to persons with a behavioral health disability. There are several laws and regulations which impact the healthcare rights of persons with a behavioral health disability. These include Massachusetts state laws and federal laws such as the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act and the Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act. In the state of Massachusetts, persons receiving treatment in an inpatient psychiatric facility have been granted 6 fundamental rights under state law. These are fundamental right number 1, the right to have reasonable access to a telephone and to make and receive confidential phone calls in private. Fundamental right number 2, the right to send and receive sealed, unopened, and uncensored mail. Having writing materials and stamps in reasonable quantities made available for your use. And assistance upon request can be provided in writing, addressing, and posting letters. Fundamental right number 3, the right to receive visitors of your own choosing daily and in private at reasonable times. Fundamental right number 4, you have the right to a humane psychological and physical environment. Each person may have accommodations which allow them privacy and security in resting, sleeping, dressing, bathing, toileting, and personal hygiene, as well as reading and writing. Fundamental right number 5, you have the right to receive or refuse to receive visits and phone calls from your attorney, legal advocate, physician, psychologist, clergy member, or social worker at any time. Fundamental right number 6, you have the right to reasonable access to fresh air and outdoors if you're receiving treatment in an inpatient psychiatric facility. Now, in some states and in some circumstances, persons with behavioral health disabilities also have the right to refuse medication. This right varies greatly by state and by specific circumstances. For additional information on the specific situations in which you might be able to refuse medication, please contact a lawyer within your state. Moving on to the Mental Health Parity Act, you have the following rights. The Act requires insurance plans offering coverage for mental or substance use disorders to make these benefits comparable to their medical and surgical coverage. Healthcare companies cannot put limits on receiving behavioral health services that they don't place on receiving medical services. Deductibles, co-pays, out-of-pocket maximums, and treatment limitations for mental health or substance use disorders must be no more restrictive than the same requirements or benefits offered for other medical care. Now we'll talk about the Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act identifies mental health and substance use disorder services as one of the 10 core services that healthcare companies must provide. This includes behavioral health treatment, counseling, and psychotherapy. Now, the experience of having a disability is different for each person. Therefore, accommodations are very personal. Even if you have the same disability, what accommodates the needs of some people may not work for you. The best advice is for you to tell your provider what works best for you. The OneCare Ombudsman Office wants to make sure that you know your rights. Please click on one of the accompanying videos or visit our website at www.onecareombuds.org for more information.